Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Suresh Mahalingam. I have over 30 years of experience of having worked in leadership positions across the BFSI and FMCG sectors. Currently, I'm an independent director and strategic advisor to several organizations. The topic for discussion today is all about executive coaching and its impact on leadership development. A very fascinating and a very interesting topic for today's day and age for leaders. How should a leader lead today? What should a CEO and the top leadership do? Leadership, scale, innovation, agility, being digital ready, and compassion towards employees and business partners will probably be the key differentiators for businesses as they move to the next level. In this context, leader development has gained momentum. The roles of one's personality, strengths, preferences, beliefs, mindset, behavioral patterns, and the very personal nature of effort involved in becoming an effective leader is now being increasingly recognized. To lead their organizations through massive transformations, senior leaders and executives will benefit from executive coaching. There are multiple studies that indicate behavior-based approach to executive coaching for leaders helps them to find opportunity in the face of great challenge and integrate key skills into their daily interactions. In this way, coaching has a ripple effect, positively impacting the entire organization. Today, we have with us Mr. Manik Chakraborty, affectionately called Manikda. Mr. Manik Chakraborty is an accomplished coach, leader, and an HR expert. Served at various professionally managed Indian business organizations for 34 years in HR leadership positions under varied situations. He is a CEO coach from the prestigious Coaching Foundation India, holds honors degrees in physics and masters in business management with specialization in HR from University of Calcutta. He is an LLB from Osmania University, Hyderabad. Mr. Chakraborty is passionate about people development and development of systems and processes to support long-term sustenance. Having worked in family-run businesses for a greater part of his career, he has developed keen interest in family businesses and their governance practices as well. Mr. Chakraborty helps executives change their behavior and become more successful through executive coaching. He supervises coach interns and helps them graduate as an executive coach from the prestigious institute CFI. He is the former president of Delhi NCR chapter of Coaching Foundation of India. Above all, Mr. Chakraborty or Manikda is agile, energetic, optimistic, forward-looking, and a continuous learner. Today, Manikda will take us through the coaching journey and share with us the impact it has on leaders and organizations. He will also share the reasons why business prioritize coaching and rely on it as a tool to carry their organizations into the future. Welcome, Mr. Manikda.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today and for you to take us through this beautiful topic of executive coaching and its impact on leadership development. Can we get started, Manikda?
Yes, of course.
Manikda, let me kind of set the basic concept right before we plunge into the deeper aspects of executive coaching and the definition and the process and so on and so forth. Over my years of experience, I've realized different terminologies used. I mean, there are words called mentoring, there are words as counseling, there are words, and now we hear the word coaching. And each of these have interchangeably used in different connotations. For the benefit of our listeners, it'll be nice if you could set the context right in terms of giving us your perspective of what is the difference between coaching, mentoring, and counseling. And then we'll start deep diving into executive coaching subsequently. But if you can set the context in terms of the meaning of these three words.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to interact with you. It's a pleasure and an honor for me. Yes, this coaching, counseling, mentoring are the aspects which people think about. And at times, people get lost in various of the finer definitions. I shall try to make a distinction which is very simple and easy to understand in that language. Okay. There are a great number of similarities between all the three and some subtle differences as well. And those differences make them distinct from each other. All the three are required, rather are used for development purpose. All have got the developmental connotation, but the approach is a little different. Now, when we talk about developmental purpose, I just give a little graphic description. Let us assume our development starts from left end to the right end. So minimum development, maximum development. And in between, there is a y-axis. We call that zero. That is, there is no negative development, but only positive development can start from 0 point. So if we have x-axis, which says that improvement need, and on the other hand, improvement need, so to say, existence of problem, and on the right-hand side, we find that the solution. So that's one side. And on the x-axis, on the y-axis, if we say that how this particular aspect to be taken care of, what style to be approached, adopted. So if we say that on the y-axis, the top one is the asking style, and the bottom one is the telling style. So we find a quadrant of the first one, the asking and problem solution. Second one, we find the telling, problem solution. Third one, we find this asking, problem situation, and the other one, telling and the problem situation. So the 4 quadrant we get into that. Now, counseling lies in this quadrant, where it is the combination, it is where you need the there is a problem. Existence of this side is existence of problem. This side is the existence of solution. So the counseling lies on the problem side, and both mentoring and coaching lies on the solution side. So if we look at that, this 4 quadrant. So the first quadrant, we say that is the counseling quadrant. That means here it is the combination of asking and problem. Okay. The second quadrant is the coaching quadrant, which means asking and problem solution. The third quadrant is the mentoring quadrant. That means the telling style and this solution side. Okay. And the fourth one is problem side and telling side. The fourth one is essentially another aspect which people confuse, the consulting. So if we do that, the location, this identification of them are that the counseling, then the coaching, then mentoring, and then the consulting. So we, by and large, get an understanding as to where they stand. So the purpose of coaching is forward-looking. So is the case with mentoring, forward-looking, because they look forward and they go for the solution of problems. The case of counseling is, it is in the solution, it is in the problem domain. Its purpose is to come to a stage where the problem is taken care of. And the style adopted here is the asking. There is no telling part of it. So the counselor asks questions to the counselee as to what is his difficulties, what kind of environment he is, what are the problems he is facing. Here the focus is mainly on the problems. Whereas in case of coaching, the focus is on the development. How to, the future focus, look at the future angles. At what stage, from what stage, at what stage he wants to go, the coach wants to go. And how does it go there? Is the subject matter that comes under coaching. Here the style is asking, no telling questions. Whereas in the case of mentoring, mentoring is done by a person who is more experienced and has got better knowledge and wisdom compared to the mentee. So here he adopts the style of telling. He tells what is to be done, what is not to be done to the mentee. Mentee's primary objective is to learn from the mentor, get his wisdom, learn from him, and then use that learning for his own development. In case of coaching, it is straightforward development. The coach does not tell anything. He only asks questions and then gets clarification. He provides direction by way of asking questions and then leads the coachee to his destination.
Sure.
In case of consulting, you understand that there is a problem and the problem has to be done by a consultant by way of giving his prescription. So by and large, these are the distinction one can make between the coaching, counseling, and mentoring, and also the consulting.
Okay.
If you have to say a few more words, in the coaching, the focus is on the past. In the counseling, the focus is on the past. And in coaching and also mentoring, focuses on the future. It is forward moving. And the counseling is in fact, backward moving. Coach does not, ask any question about the past in case it is not absolutely essential. Okay. And the counselor deals with past unless there is need to deal something with the future. Okay. That's the essential.
Understand. So, I mean, very, very, very nicely put in terms of indicating the differences. So, in a nutshell, if one were to synthesize without, putting it in a very simplistic manner, coaching is a process that unleashes possibly a coach's potential and maximizes his performance, and therefore a lot of ask is done by the coach to try and help the coachee do that. All three, or even consulting, help the professional. So in a manner of speaking, it does help the professional. Counseling is probably more to deal with the issues of emotional therapy and so on and so forth, where you're probing into the problem. Whereas mentoring, as you said, involves a transfer of knowledge, skills, and objectives. And the objective is to learn from experience from a person on a one-to-one level. And we'll dwell with executive coaching in detail, but coaching helps the coachee build on his own muscle to kind of take things forward. So I think this is what you kind of summed up in the basic differences between coaching, counseling, and mentoring. Moving forward now, building on that executive coaching, Manikda, coaching can have a profound effect on leaders and the teams they lead. And so, in a nutshell, or for us to understand, why is it called executive coaching, and what is executive coaching?
Okay, so coaching purpose, I have explained, and you have nicely presented, spoken about it, summarized about it. The coaching, we understand coaching. Now, why it is called executive coaching? Because it is called executive coaching because it is meant for the executives of the organization. Be whatever the level of that particular executive, maybe at the entry level to even the topmost executive. So that's why it is called the executive coaching. There is no other reason as to why it is called executive coaching. And so on and so forth. That's it. There's a simple answer.
And is there a relationship? Is it between two people? Team, we'll talk about team coaching later, but essentially, when you say, is it a relationship, a collaboration between a coach and a coachee, where the coach plays a role in terms of helping the coachee identify and maximize his potential? Would that be a right way of defining what is executive coaching?
Absolutely. It is the relationship of collaboration. So to say, it is a collaborative partnership, and in the professional domain, collaborative partnership and professional relationship between the coach and the coachee. And you have said it correctly, that it's a process whereby the intention is to unleash the potential of the coachee and to ensure that he maximizes his performance. So since it's a process, it has got a beginning, it has got an end, and it has got various stages to go through. So that's what the executive coaching process goes through. It follows that way. What was the other part of the question, if you can repeat that?
No, I'm just saying, so leading on from that aspect of what you just mentioned, Manikda, leader executive development is a critical aspect in every organization.
Absolutely.
Unlike the traditional training methods, coaching builds strong leaders through a process of self-awareness, like you said, by asking, and sustainable changes in behavior. And we'll deal about behavior subsequently in some of my questions later. From your own experience, how does executive coaching help one or two areas in terms of leader development? One or two areas, and we'll get into the deep content subsequently. But if you can throw some light quickly.
Yeah, so the areas, how does the executive coaching help? As the definition itself says, it is for the purpose of maximizing the performance. The moment the performance improves, everybody gets to benefit out of it. Let's take the case of a typical case where the executive coaching may be asked for. Suppose a particular person has a transition, an executive has transitioned into a new role, where the demands of the role is much more than the kind of demands that he has been handling so far. The demands of the new role is something that he would not have handled it earlier. In that case, he needs to go through the coaching so that he develops his ability to meet the demands of that particular role. The moment he develops that ability, he starts performing. And when he starts performing, the results start to flow. So that's how the executive coaching impacts the executives as well as his surroundings, his teams, his organizations. It does improve.
So I want to build on that a little more in terms of how it helps the organization, how it helps the individual. Clearly, for the coaching, for a coaching to work for an executive or a leader, there is a clear requirement to establish a need identification as to what is the purpose of coaching, why is coaching required. So from your own experience, what are the various scenarios where a leader and executive would require executive coaching? What are the, you talked about one in terms of...
Yes. There are, normally we say that this, in case the leader currently faces some issues in his current role, he is unable to address those issues, then there is a case for him to go for executive coaching. Okay. In case the leader wants to create some opportunity for him in future, he is not quite conversant about the future, then there is a need for him to go for executive coaching. Another example, which I have just mentioned, because of the normal process, he gets transitioned into a new role. And at that role, there is a case for him to go for executive coaching. Someone in an organization at times takes certain strategic decisions, maybe the expansion, greenfield expansion, brownfield expansion, so many things the organization takes. And the complexity of the new strategic requirement is different from what the executive has been experiencing. There's a need for him to go for executive coaching. Think of a case, today we are increasingly working in a global environment. Now people moving from one country to the another country, from one cultural dimensions to another cultural dimensions. There is a need for him to go for executive coaching. So to say, whenever there is a change in the position of the person, change in the environment of the person, change in the expectation of the person, change in the desire of the person, it gives rise to a need for executive coaching. And organizations are increasingly embracing this particular proposition. And people are getting benefited arising out of it.
So to kind of synthesize what you're saying, opportunity to do more, you're stuck and you want to expand, coaching is required. There's a change of role and the role requires some additional skill sets or some competencies, coaching is required. The company is expanding, they're going across boundaries, borders, you need coaching. There is a cultural change, there's a new CEO, there's a new playbook, you need coaching. Or like you rightly said, unicultural to multicultural, all these are possibly need identification that organizations possibly want, and the best way to address it is through the process of coaching. Now,
absolutely.
Having said that, You had also mentioned in the course of the conversation that coaching is a personalized learning process, and that is accomplished through a process of one-to-one between the coach and the coachee. Can you take us through the process of executive coaching? Because it is not a one-off activity, it's not a one-off session. How does it work? How does executive coaching work? How many sessions is required? What is a session? What should be the periodicity of sessions? Because for an executive to really benefit, the process of coaching and the way you do coaching itself is very important. So can you take us through the entire process of executive coaching?
Sure. There are two aspects we need to think of. Whenever a particular person goes through or undertakes this coaching journey, it's not a destination, it's just a journey. It's a journey. He undergoes a change, behavioral change. So whenever he goes through a behavioral change requirement and goes through it, he passes through 5 stages, at least 5 stages. There could be many. So what we call is that pre-contemplation. He has not yet started thinking about it. Then the contemplation, he starts thinking about it, but has not taken any decision to move in that direction. Then he takes decision that he should go for this change, and he starts preparing for itself. There's the preparation stage. And then once he makes the preparation, he has to take action. What action, where and how, that we shall discuss about it. Action. And once he has taken action, assuming that he has experienced certain gain, now his responsibility is to sustain that gain and then scale up that gain. That is what is called the maintenance and scaling up kind of phase. So he goes through these 5 stages of change, behavioral change, that any person who undertakes the coaching journey. Insofar as coaching is concerned, it goes through a process. The process can be divided into 3 parts. One is that pre-coaching process, coaching process, and then the post-coaching process. All right. So a model that I now follow generally, what I have nicknamed it is that FW2H2F model of executive coaching.
Interesting.
First F stands for thanks. First F stands for the fundamentals or the foundation. So what happens here? The coaching is a relationship of trust between the coach and the coach. It is essential that both of them, understand each other and develop comfort to work with each other. If that comfort is developed with each other, then the relationship does not continue fruitful. So that's what we call is that, chemistry meeting. So the coach and the coachee meets at the beginning of the journey process itself. That is called the chemistry meeting. They interact with each other, understand each other, get to know each other, ask the relevant questions to each other, and then develop a degree of comfort to work with each other. That's happens. Second aspect that happens in the foundation zone, it is being explained to him what coaching is, because coaching process requires responsibilities of both the coach and the coachee. So it is important that it is made very clear to them what is their responsibility, what is their ownership, what they should do, what activity they should do, what they should bring onto the table, how they should bring onto the table, what are the dynamics of the coaching process. These aspects are also taken care of in this first F category. And next aspect that is taken care of, something psychological literacy as to human behavior and the psychology is deeply interconnected. Some idea, some thought process is shared with the coachee so that he develops some acquaintance, his behavior with his behavior that he displays, his mindset, his attitude, his values, belief, what this word mean and how they link with each other and what is the impact of this and how does it produce result. That kind of behavioral, this initial concept is shared with him. So these are the aspects dealt with in the first step category. Then comes first W1. W1 is that, where are you? That is, find out his current stature, current status. Where is he? What does he do? Then where does he want to go? What is his aspirations? What does he want to achieve? Why he wants to achieve? Issues of this nature. Okay. Then how does he want to go there? What are the strategies, plans, action plans he would like to follow or he can follow? And next one comes, how does he ensure that whatever the strategies and action plan he has identified, it is implemented and implemented in a result producing manner. That is how he does that. Okay. And then next step is that once he has done that, how does he flourish? Flourish meaning thereby how does he sustain that and how does it scale it up? So these are the 6-step process of coaching that I generally adopt while doing coaching with my coaches. There are a lot of sub-steps, each one under each category. And as we discuss, I think it will come out clear to us.
Clearly, there is a set process, a process of pre-coaching, during coaching, post-coaching, and it's very fascinating to the way you expressed, the way you explained it in terms of pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, and action, and juxtapose it to the pre, during, and the post. And I think what the metaphor that you use in terms of FW2 H2F is very interesting in terms of where is the foundation, what is your current position, how do you want to go there, how do you want to achieve, how will you flourish, and so on and so forth. And just a slight extension of the same process that you spoke about. In your own experience, we'll go through a live example in my question subsequent to this question. But quickly, from your experience, clearly one sees the benefit as far as an individual is concerned. How does one read the same benefits, not just the individual, but also how it percolates to the organization at large, from a coaching experience?
Yeah, it is. See now, if we say that, I'll just give a metaphor of this kind of how does it help others? How does it ultimately help others in the question? If you think that, and I mean, let us compare a running organization and its current position. We can compare this with that of certain still water. Generally, we can see in our normal enclosure where some water is kept, it is still water. So somebody receives coaching. He goes to the coaching journey. So he is not the same person before he has gone to the coaching journey. So he has got something. It is something like that of you throw a projectile onto that water. And the moment you throw a projectile onto the water, it creates a ripple. And the ripple percolates from this point of projectile to all the way up to the embankment. So nobody is spared. Everybody gets benefited arising out of it. Everybody gets tossed upon it. So now let us think of a leader. Whenever he receives, he goes to the coaching journey, he is a new person now. And since he is a new person, the people around him, initially his team members, they can get to feel the benefit out of it. And since it's a positive benefit, it gets percolated onto them. So therefore, the team gets benefited out of it. When the team and their leader gets this benefit and they imbibe this, the new learning and the new experience, it really percolates down throughout the organization. Now, in an organization, if the number of persons going through the coaching journey, it crosses a critical mass, then it will create a wave in the organization. And that wave will be extremely, extremely beneficial to the organization in the positive direction. In addition, by any chance, if the head of the organization also goes to this coaching journey and he experiences gain, that itself will percolate the benefit across the organization.
So clearly there are benefits. Manik, that will be very interesting now at this juncture for you to possibly tell us a story of the process, the aspects of executive coach, all that you mentioned in terms of the need for executive coaching. Maybe an example from the multiple coaching assignments that you would have done, which could kind of take us through the entire journey with a live case. You don't have to give any names, but if you
Sure.
could share with us, that'll stitch the story nicely.
Sure, I shall share a live coaching which I have done. But before that, let me share a little bit more nitty-gritty about the coaching process. Generally, in any organizational coaching, it may come from the coachee himself. He says that no, I need this coaching. I have identified for this, so I would like to go for this coaching. So it could be directly, asked for by him, and he can proceed it. In other cases, the organization may identify the need that our growth path is like this, and we need this many leaders in so and so period of time to come up and hold the new responsibilities. So therefore, we need to build up leadership pipeline from within our organization. So here, the organization decides that they need to build up a leadership bench strength. They identify the persons who have got, according to them, have got the potential to assume that, but as of now, they are not ready to handle that kind of situation. They define it. So when the organization that defines this, organization also ensures that there is somebody from the organization who holds hand with the coach, with the coachee. Typically, we call this person as the sponsor of the coaching program. So there could be a situation where there is a sponsor, and there could be a coaching situation where there is no sponsor. Sponsorship is not a must insofar as the coaching process is concerned. Okay, organizations may have, may not have. Individuals may have, may not have. So either way, it is okay. So whenever there is a sponsor, assuming that for our conversation, assume that what is the role of sponsor? Whenever, as I told you, there is the first F is the foundation laying process. After that, what happens? The coach interacts with the sponsor. Sponsor is the representative of the organization. And coach understands what is the expectation of the sponsor, so to say, what is the expectation of the organization from this coaching engagement, and what is the specific expectation from the coachee that they have identified for this purpose. So there is a complete conversation between the coach and the coachee and exchange of information so that the coach understands the thought process of the organization. Okay. As a next step, what it comes is that then there is a meeting, we call the first three-way meeting between the coach, between the sponsor and the coachee. There, information is shared completely with the coachee. It is being said that the organization has got this kind of expectation out of you. Organization feels that this is where your future lies. Do you have anything to say? Or you have something else or some other areas that you are looking forward to? Here, complete freedom is given to the coachee so that he can express freely whatever he feels like. After all, he needs to buy in this concept of development. And unless he buys it in, his dedication towards that, his ownership towards that cannot be considered to be full and complete. And if it is not there, the journey will not be that fruitful. So therefore, he can raise his point, he can raise his viewpoint, his concern, his expectations, his hope, his thought process, everything comes on the table. And these three gentlemen, or maybe three ladies, or the ladies and gentlemen combined, so they discuss this out completely and finds out that what is the situation, how it should look like eventually. Having done that, the next process, as I said to you, the first W, the where are you? Then the coach interacts with the coachee completely just to find out his story. Where is he? Where from is he? What is his mental outlook? What he wants? And to what extent what is his level of commitment? What is his story? What is the story behind his story? So whatever he is talking, is it the reality or he has got something else to do? So complete story conversation takes place between the coach and the coachee. And the coach gets to know the coachee firsthand in depth. Okay. Having done that, now the coachee is working in an organization. So he's not alone. There are people around. He works with other people. He leads other people. He takes instructions from other people. He delivers results. He expects results from others. He makes others deliver results. So he is in a composite environment in any organization. So if he's in a composite environment in an organization, people around him also have something to say about him. So as a next step, the coach interacts with certain chosen people around that coachee. Yet the coachee is asked to identify those people who want good for the coachee, who would like the coachee to get developed, not the one that who will always tell the good thing about the coach. So once the coachee identifies these people, coach interacts with them and gets their feedback. What we call this as that a 360-degree feedback. So the people are around that coachee, his superiors, his subordinates, his peers, and maybe his external stakeholders, even maybe his family members. It is just to get a comprehensive idea about the coachee. So that process is done. These are still at the first W stage. Once it is done, the coach also, in addition, administers certain psychometric instruments just to find out what these tools have to throw up for him. After that, he consolidates the finding. The coach consolidates the finding, and it is shared with the coachee. And here, more often than not, the coachee gets new perspective, something which he was blind to himself. He was blind to his requirements, how he behaves. Not every case he is completely aware of it. How does he come across others? Where are the improvement areas, improvement opportunities? The entire information comes here, and he gets a new perspective arising out of this. The coach presents this to the coachee and then asks the coachee whether he is okay with this or he has got a different viewpoint. If he has got a different viewpoint, he may like to, voice his viewpoint, where and how, and then after mutual conversation between the coach and the coachee, once they are completely satisfied that the ultimate goal will be, served, then they identify the area of work where they should work for this. Okay, so that comes, where do you want to go? It is at that stage, the second W, where do you want to go? So they work out that what are the areas they should work, and as a process, they identify certain goals, they identify strategies, action plans, implementation plan. Everything is worked out at that particular stage. So here it takes care of W2, it takes care of H1 and as well as H2. Both the house are taken care of in this conversation. And then it is being rolled out, and this coachee is expected to follow. And there will be sessions between the coach and the coachee. Typically, it takes 6 sessions to 12 sessions generally. But by and large, 8 sessions is good enough. Generally, it is good enough. So 8 sessions of conversation takes place between the coach and the coachee in between. And in that coaching session, a lot of discussion happens. What are the difficulties the coachee is finding out? He works on his value system. He works on his reframing his value system. He works on his attitudinal part of it. He works on his mindset part of it. Everything is discussed during the coaching process, and action is taken. And after every session, the coach gives the coachee assignment, which is supposed to complete before the next session comes. Okay, and that's how it moves. And now the typical case that I would like to share with you is that of a CEO of a promoter-run company. That is the person I will not share his name, I will not share his organization and where does the organization come from, so on and so forth. So these are the kind of things I shall not be sharing. I shall be sharing the case of what has been the coaching. Coaching details you want to know about this coaching case. So this gentleman is the CEO of his company. Okay. And obviously, he does not have any sponsor. It is he who decided that he needs to go for coaching. But why and how, he did not have much idea about it. He heard that coaching is one of the process through which he should go. And if he goes, he should be able to handle his requirement. He should be able to come up with his aspects. So he's a self-sponsored coaching. So therefore, there is no opportunity for talking to what his sponsor thinks, what his organization thinks. It is what he says. Whenever there is an interaction, first interaction, the question came up that why coaching for you? Why do you think you need to go through this coaching? You are running your organization. You know what is to be done, what is not to be done. You can take care of it. You are good enough to take care of your own coaching requirement, your own development requirement. Why do you need? He says that I cannot say specifically as to why do I need coaching, but I feel that I need coaching. But I have some issues. So for example, I do not get any energy. I don't have any energy. I do not like to work. I drag myself. I always know I'm under fear. I'm working under a duress. I have planned business planning I make. I do not think that I am able to execute that plan very well. And moreover, whatever I start, I do not finish it on time. As a result of that, I personally feel that the growth of my business is linked to my ability to do that. And I simply do not have this ability to lead the business. But I have no alternative to do that. So I have to lead the business. I cannot leave the business. I have to lead the business. I cannot leave it because so many people are dependent on me. So I just cannot throw them away and then run away from this particular company. But given the choice, I really would not like to run this business. There are questions also came up, why it is so. So there are many issues. Issues are that, so we have got a family business and I have taken up this business. This business runs on a very narrow margin. As a result of that, my earning potential has gone down. That's a cause of concern for me. Second point is that I have a great vision. I would like to achieve many things, but I don't like to take action. So there's a huge gap between my vision and action. I criticize myself, but I don't think that I am able to do anything by way of criticizing. So I really need to know, if I don't criticize myself, how is that I'm going to improve? I don't know. I need help in this case. I do not have this sense of achievement. Okay, I consider myself that I am the stumbling block. It is because of me that my organization is not growing. How do I do? What do I do? I always work under pressure and I have a negative thought. Once I start thinking that should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I be able to do it? A lot of negative thought process comes in my mind and it de-energizes me completely. I don't get any energy to do this. In fact, ideally, I would like to grow this company in the next 5 to 6 years' time by 4-fold, but I really do not know how to go about that. I also specifically, I need to understand the business planning skill, so on and so forth. So these are the issues that he has raised for him. Then the question came up that why it is so. Why he's a person who is running a company. It is his family company. He knows what does it require to run the company. And there are successful businesses in his family. They are running and he sees that is happening there. He also mentioned another point that since his organization is not earning that much of money, he is not getting that kind of recognition within the family context. And that is also another cause of concern for me. People do not pay much attention to him and also his company. He said that I feel neglected. So therefore, these are the issues. On one hand, he knows that he has got aspiration to do that and he does not do that. He has got a lot of issues which thought that as a coach, it appeared to me that there are certain intrapersonal issues and he has got some unhelpful ways of thinking about himself. I think that could be the case. If you can handle that, probably There's the initial, hunch I had developed talking to him, that it is the case of his interpersonal issues and also unhelpful ways of thinking about himself. So having done that, I then suggested to him, that's okay, you are running this company, but we would also like to get the views of people around you about you. So he has identified, he was quite sportive about that. He has given the names and identified. Of all the people he identified, one very interesting, important stakeholder says that he would not like to participate in the conversation. So be it. So we have gone without that particular stakeholder. I still feel, had that stakeholder been there, I think we could have got a better input. But whatever it may be, so we have got his strengths and improvement areas from the people around him. The strengths were very good. People have said that he's a fundamentally nice person, family-oriented person. He's an honest person, ethical person. He does not do any harm to others. And he is a person who has got a great sense of hospitality. And whenever required, people have seen him, putting a lot of hours. So people say that he has got a lot of energy to invest in that. But at the same time, people also say that he seems to be in the comfort zone. He doesn't take any active step, any progressive step to move the company ahead. He seems to have the fear of failure. He does not seem to take any ideas, any new ideas. He does not want to experiment with any ideas. Most of the time, we find that he takes one-sided view. Seems to us that he is a control freak, doesn't leave anything. Transparency to us seems to be an issue. He doesn't listen to us. We feel that he doesn't listen to us. Whatever suggestion we give, he doesn't take it. He is not a very systems-oriented person. He relies more on his memory than on the systematic process. These are not the corporate culture that any organization should have. He has got reactions, and at times he bursts into anger on people. Ability to change perception about people is a developmental need. Once he forms an idea about anybody, he doesn't change that idea. He refuses to feel, he refuses to accept that it is possible for him it is possible for people over a period of time to change. He doesn't accommodate that thought process. He works like a proprietor, as you said, typical proprietor, that kind of thing. Lack of professionalism, teamwork, corporate thinking, those are the issues that they have indicated. So when those points came up as per the next step of our coaching process, this new perspective have been presented to the coach. To my surprise, coach did not refute any of these points. He says that that's a great revelation to me. I never had this kind of feedback from my people. Now I shall work with each and every point. Let me see that. And I found that was a very, very positive approach that he has taken. Once you look at that, his way of dealing with people, the way people perceive, and this particular stand was quite contradictory. And I, in fact, was really not hoping that he will be so positive about it. Anyway, so we have done that, and gradually we say that, okay, you have this aspiration, and you have this current situations, you know what people are talking about it, and you now agree that you will work on all these points. So what is required for you? What is the role of a CEO? Can you just tell that? So he has listed down the role of a CEO, and ultimately, arising out of discussion, we have worked out a goal for him being effective in his current and anticipated future role. Effectiveness of his role is what is required to be done. So then the action areas taken. He has got a lot of issues. He was unable to think that it was possible for him. So we had a long mutual conversation. So we said that let us take certain action. Action is that things what you are thinking that is not possible, you start dreaming and visualizing that this you are already doing it. So let's have a visualization exercise on daily basis. So it has been drafted through mutual effort that what are the areas that he should visualize about. It was also identified that he should need to engage himself with the business, with the people, with the company's future. So he need to have engagement, he need to escalate his engagement with the organization. So set of questions we have borrowed from a model, and then those questions have been developed, and then that was a part of his assignment, which he was expected to do on almost a daily basis. Then as a CEO, his role is not to do the job by himself, and not that people should feel that they are, so people should be allowed to work. What he should do that he should put in accountability mechanism. So he should delegate and then ensure accountability. We had a discussion about his organizational structure. If he had to increase the organization fourfold, does that structure support it? We found that it does not support. So the next action point was organization building. And he was particular about learning about the business plan. Okay, so we have said that, okay, we shall talk about the business plan, but that is not the very serious coaching activities. Business plan is something that you should learn it from some other sources. Coach is not the person to teach you business plan. But however, since you wanted, that we shall have a conversation about the business plans. So with those action areas that has been done, intensive conversation took place. And after about 7 months, we have taken a dipstick survey. And in the dipstick survey, first we collected his feedback as to what he feels. What it told is that he has got rid of his negativity in his thought process. He said that I am very much comfortable now. I really do not think anything negative about it. I feel motivated. I don't have any doubt on myself. And the fear of failure, though there, I have been able to overcome it, and I think I can handle it anymore. So fear of failure is also not a concern for me right now. He says that his personal productivity has doubled. And then I asked him, okay, if you have to, create an index as to what you were before coaching and where are you now? He said that before coaching, I was at -1. And now I think that I am at +3, but I wish to take it to +5. So that was I thought that it was quite a positive feedback from his side, from his own realization. Then we have done a dipstick survey from the people who were initially part of his 360 degree, not all, the critical ones. So they also said something like this. No, there is significant improvement in him. He listens fast, completely, and then he speaks. He takes things positively, and instant reaction has totally come down. He doesn't react, he doesn't express his anger. He analyzes the pros and cons, and then he takes his decision. By and large, he does not go to the day-to-day operations. He delegates. And now there is a job clarity for all of us. And we can see where the organization is moving. Has given independence to people and is very much calm in office. So people have quoted that there are certain instances. If those instances were earlier, he would have been furious. But this time he was extremely controlled. He has not expressed anything. So that's how it has gone there. And then ultimately we have taken some sustainability measures. It has gone there and it has gone. That's how it has come up. This is a live case that I've described.
No, sir. So very, I was listening very patiently to your story. I didn't want to interrupt the flow because I think what you demonstrated through the story is the entire process of coaching and the rigor and the seriousness and the humanness that one brings into the element, and making sure that the end results are perceptible changes that one sees in the coach's developmental plan. And the linkage in terms of the initial meetings, the meetings, the three-way meetings, the initial sessions with him to identify what could be your hunch, and then doing the 360, indicating to him the findings of the 360, arriving at the goals, working on actions of the goals, and ultimately ending it with the position of how will you carry this forward. It's not just about some improvement that you've noticed, but how do you sustain this over a period of time. I think very, very well indicated and spoken by you, Manikda, in terms of sharing how the entire process of executive coaching works. Here is a live example followed through a process, and then therefore how does it help the individual, and as a consequence of that, in this case, how it has helped how it has helped his organization. Very well said.
Absolutely.
Because we're running short of time, I have lots of questions, Manikda, but I'm going to start ask you a couple of more questions. Now, stemming from this beautiful experience that you spoke about, there are today's concepts of team coaching, group coaching, and so on and so forth. And that is also gaining a lot of momentum. Can you throw some light on how it works and its benefit from an organization standpoint, individual to team to groups?
Sure. I think I can take some time, to explain
Yeah.
this. Sure. So thanks. Thank you so much. So now, if you look at that, any result in an organization that is achieved, it is achieved through group effort. It is very difficult for any one individual to produce the result that an organization needs. So therefore, the team effort and the group effort are inseparable part of the organization. So therefore, there is a logical consequence that it is important that the group coaching is espoused in the organization, team coaching is espoused in the organization, so that the organization...
Carry on, get it. Sorry, I think it was slightly interrupted.
So that the organization can multiply its gains. Now, the essential distinction between the group coaching and team coaching is that any team, it's a smaller in number, could be bigger, but compared to group, it is smaller. And the teams have got uniformity of their deliverables. By and large, a team knows if somebody is from the production team, they know what the team members are supposed to do. But whenever it comes to the group, the people are heterogeneous. Various people have got various deliverables. So therefore, the deliverables are not very clear. The group's deliverable is not as precisely defined as in the team aspect. So therefore, in the coaching aspect, whenever people take team coaching or group coaching, that aspect has to be kept in mind. And obviously, in the coaching, in the coaching, the focus is on the team performance in case of team coaching, and in respect of group coaching, it is on the group performance. That's how it happens. But whatever it is, team is also a group, and the group is definitely a group. So what happens that whenever there is no commonality, some sort of commonality is required to be established in order to drive the coaching process forward. So what does it do? This commonality can be achieved by way of two processes, either by your standardizing the process so that everybody goes through the same process. They go through the first step, second step, third step, uniformly, whatever they have to learn, uniform learning, whatever assignment they have to do, uniform assignment. So everybody goes through this process. So by standardizing the process, it goes through. Second is by standardizing the content of coaching, on what area they should work. If that is standardized for the group as well as for the team, so therefore the uniformity can be achieved. So the coach normally brings about standardization through the process or through the content, and then he undertakes the coaching journey. Since it is group coaching, here the one-to-one interaction possibility is not there, but still, people would like to, go for one-to-one interaction. They feel that in case they can get some one-to-one interaction with people, with the coach or somebody similar to the coach, it will help them. In that case, the coaches nowadays are adopting something called the hybrid coaching, where there is a combination of both personalized coaching as well as the group coaching. So what happens is that typically, between the two sessions, the coach can tell to the individual members that, yes, some of you would like to have an interaction with me. These are the times available. You can book your time and have a conversation with me. So the individual members can book their time and have a conversation with the coach and get their enlightenment, whatever they would like to do, get the viewpoint of the coach, help from the coach, they can do that. Alternatively, what the coach can do is that in the group coaching setup, if the number of people are say 10, 12, 15, 20, could be any, because the group coaching can be scalable. And today, with this remote working system, it can be scalable to any number. So what the coach can do is that he can form certain subgroups comprising of limited number of persons. So between each session, he can task the subgroup to discuss among themselves, discuss their issues, work out their own solutions, what are their derive the learnings, and share the learning among themselves and in the next session in the wider group, so that everybody can get benefit out of that. So that is one way. Second aspect he can do is that let there be an accountability session. Somebody nominated by the coach hold an accountability session whereby the members have to say what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do, what are the action they have to take, and they take that action, they get the benefit, and then share this before they in the accountability session or subsequently in the larger group session. So in both the ways, it is being done so that both aspects are taken care of. There are certain additional benefit in a group coaching, so to say team coaching set. So now if you go for the one-to-one coaching pattern, it is between the coach and the coachee. The coachee develops awareness about himself. He knows his strengths, his improvement areas, what he does, what his values, beliefs, etc., etc. But in a group coaching, what happens? People not only get to know about themselves, they can get to know about the others, and they can also deal with the group dynamics. As a result of that, a new culture can be formed through a group coaching. If any organization would like to go for a culture, development of a culture arising out of emotional maturity, the group coaching is the answer. Because there the coaches get an opportunity to look at themselves, look at others, understand their behavior, understand others' behavior, and manage their relationship. So that is another advantage through the group coaching comes. Group coaching, on the other hand, is scalable, as I mentioned to you. And on the other hand, since many people are there, it is possible for the organization to expose a large number of people to the process of coaching, so that they themselves can get enlightened and can implement the learnings even in their own areas.
Sure.
In addition, it is cost effective. So it is really good. It is better. And my personal suggestion is that the organization must start getting, embracing this group coaching phenomenon, team coaching phenomenon, so that they can scale up their organizational performance in the shortest possible time.
Thank you, Manik. I'm moving to the last three questions, and if you could be brief in because of time, would love to keep chatting up with you more often. There are lots of more questions, but in the interest of time, now I'm shifting the focus away from executive coaching, coachee, and bringing the focus on coach, and on the aspect of coach itself. Some say what makes a very good coach has nothing to do with the amount of time and experience they have in a specific career, other than coaching. What makes a good coach? I mean, who is a typical coach? How does one become a coach? What are the qualifications required? Because as the momentum gathers, it becomes important. Who is this coach? Who is this person called coach? What does he require? And you can probably share your own experience. You are a very respected executive coach.
Yeah. So let me share that. Yes, the respected part of things are a judgmental aspect, don't deal with that. Okay, sure. So what happens, the coach has to do certain, he has got certain roles and responsibilities of him. Okay. First of all, he needs to have very good communication skill. Communication not only in terms of talking, but also in terms of listening. Very important. Listening is extremely important. The good coaches, they know how to harness the power of silence for optimum results. That's the power of listening. That's the power of communication to them. That's very important. They need to have knowledge about what the coaching is, how the coaching is, what are the coaching skills required, and do they have various skills repertoire under them. So they need to sharpen their knowledge and their skills continuously. That's required. They need to be objective. They are not to be aligned with the coachee or the coach or the organizations. Their purpose is coachee centricity. They need to be objective completely. They work with their coaches, but they don't work for the coaches. That's the distinction they need to make. They need to have enough patience, perseverance, need to have persistence. It may not be possible that whatever they want the coaches to be getting it, they may not get it, they may take time. So therefore, patience, perseverance, persistence are important. They need to ask questions. So their ability to inquire into the affairs of the coachee is very important. And developing perception, perspective, that another quality they need to bring in. They need to have integrity, meaning thereby, see, they are privy to a lot of confidential information about the coachee. They must have the integrity enough not to disclose this information without taking prior consent of the coachee. That kind of integrity. Second integrity they must have is that whatever they say, they should be able to deliver. Without that, it doesn't work. They have to be non-judgmental. Their job is not to be judgmental. Their job is to help. So they are not to judge, pass any judgment on the coachee or on the organization. They should remain judgment neutral. They should be action-oriented, bias for action. Even if the coachee, they find that coachee is not, taking up action, doing this action as it is required, at times they are expected to be tough on the coachee because they work in the interest of the coachee and they need to be action-oriented. Rapport building is very important for the coachee. And they work as a catalyst. Because of their presence, they help the coachee to grow and develop. They don't come in the forefront. So they work as catalysts. So they must resist the temptation of hogging the limelight and claiming, the credit for those kind of, the significant improvement in the coaching. And they should be walking the talk. Whatever they say, they should be doing that, and they should be seen to be doing that. So these are the requirements that a coach needs to demonstrate for him to be a good coach. Now, he is a coach, he is working in an organization, so he must understand the dynamics of the organization in order to help the coachee appropriately. Okay. Ideally speaking, he would have worked for substantial year, at least 10 years, 5 to 10 years at a very senior level position, because it is at that position he develops enough maturity, can see things from various perspectives, and can help the coachee to take a balanced view of his affairs. So therefore, these are the requirements he must have. So I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yes. So one who knows organizations and knows the dynamics of the organization, no bias, understands building relationship, integrity, communication, listening, leadership, coaching skills of, asking questions, summarizing, are possibly all the essential qualities for becoming a good coach.
Okay.
Now I'm moving to possibly a little departure from coaching. What are the myths associated with coaching? I mean, some people feel, I don't think I was high enough to be in the pecking order to deserve one-to-one coaching. Coaching gets, few results, very few results. It's too long a period. 8 to 10 months is too long a period. It's only for top people. I'm sure there are multiple other myths as far as executive coaching is concerned. I was asking this question on a lighter side. I know executive coaching is a very serious subject. So what are some myths associated with executive coaching, and what are the things that executive coaching does not do? I think that's important.
Yeah. So there are several myths. Many myths are there. I mean, that you have mentioned, these are the myths. There are other myths as well. In the interest of time, I shall deal with only one myth in depth, and in case the time permits, one more myth. So let us take that. You have mentioned that it says that it takes long time. No, 10 months time or 8 months time is too long a time for me to, wait for this. So therefore, that's a myth. So generally, if you look at the myth, what does myth connote or signifies? Myth, generally, it has got various meanings, but the meaning I am importing for my own benefit to explain the situation is that myths is something which is called the false belief. Some people believe that it is true, but in reality, it is not true. That's what is the definition I would like to pick up for the word myth. Now, let us test this word myth. I am of the view that executive coaching takes long time is a myth. So therefore, it is not true. But at the same time, that it takes time is a fact. One has to recognize that. Now, if you look at it from this angle, that any developmental activity, since we know about existence of the planet, has taken time. Without time, nothing could have been developed, nothing has been developed, nothing is getting developed, and nothing will never develop. So therefore, it will take time. So there is no fuss about it, that it takes time. Second point is that executive coaching is a purely developmental orientation. The person who goes through this journey, he goes for his own development. Insofar as development is concerned, one, ideally speaking, should not be concerned about so much of time dimension element. After all, it's a development. If it gets developed, he carries this development in him, provided he doesn't percolate it to others throughout his life. So for getting something lifelong, which will continue to you lifelong and will be giving you a benefit, you are expected to spend some time on this. So therefore, the way that myth has come, this really does not justify that. Now let us take that how much time it really takes. I'll give you a concrete example. The case that we have described. We have done totally 8 sessions. Okay. So in 8 sessions, how much is the engagement? There is a coaching session between the coach and the coachee, once in a month. Okay. And that lasts from 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Say that it is 120 minutes, 2-hour session every month. Now, between 2 sessions, as we have mentioned in the case that I have described, that after every session, assignments have been given to the coachee so that he should implement them, because unless the coachee implements, the improvement does not happen. Okay. Improvement does not happen just by your strategy formulation, designing action plan. Unless it is executed, no improvement happens. So therefore, action has to be. So at the end of every coaching session, the coach gives assignment, and those assignment takes 4 weeks between sessions, 4 weeks time per week. According to my understanding, if he spends 90 to 120 minutes per week, that's good enough time. So therefore, we said that 4 weeks, let us say that it also takes 2 hours per week. So 2 hours per week, 4 weeks, that is 8 hours. 8 hours plus 2 hours session, 10 hours it takes. So in 1 month, time investment is 10 hours. And in 1 month, if we calculate, we have 720 hours. So with 720 hours, 10 hours forms only about 1.4%, 1.39%, something in that decimal, that much. And this is not great time. This is not a very huge time that we should be worried about it. In addition, what happens is that at the end of 8 months, the session does not happen. Maybe the assignment also does not happen in that regularity. Okay, so therefore the time investment is not required. But yes, if you would like to sustain, you need to work on it. Not exactly this assignment, but some other assignment, some other aspect, you need to work on it. So that is a part of, it will get into your habit. When it gets into your habit, you can't count for, it is taking so much time, if I so and so forth. Another aspect, subtle aspect, which people really do not take note of it, the moment the coach starts going through this coaching journey, after 1 session or 2 sessions, when he starts implementing his assignments, he starts experiencing benefit. And if he starts experiencing benefit, he can contribute to the organization. So in fact, the organization starts to gain from 2nd session or 3rd session onwards. So therefore, even this 8 months time is also not without benefit to the organization. So therefore, it is just a myth. It's not to be given due cognizance of. I think I would like to proceed further.
Yes. So the last question to you, Manikda, and that will conclude this beautiful conversation that we had. You've been a coach for many years now. How do you see its impact on the individual and the organization? You've spoken about both, but as a concluding, I just want to hear your concluding remarks. Are organizations embracing coaching as an important developmental intervention for leadership at large? And what do you see the future?
Sure. I think how it impacts the individual, the team, the group, and also to the organization, I think I have dealt with it adequately. I do not need to. I feel that I do not need to, but unless you feel that, I can repeat that.
No. I just wanted to hear your concluding remarks. So.
Sure. But insofar as organizations embracing coaching, I think I can define the organization into 3 categories. One category is that those who are very serious, they understand, they have experimented it, they have gained the benefit, and they make it mandatory for their leadership team members and other members also to go through the coaching journey, part of that. So that's one organization, enlightened organizations, and they go that and they're doing well, and they're doing well in that case. Second type of organization is that those who are embracing this, they have started doing it, experienced some benefit. Some of them are going ahead with it. Some of them are still testing the water. But then there's a category which is moving in the positive direction. The third category is yet to realize this importance of it. I just put that into account, the small scale sector. Think of it. They are the backbone to our economy. And they are, even today, without any developmental support. Some sporadic cases here and there, but in a concerted way, it is not there. So the third category of organizations are those organizations who are yet to, embrace it, experience it, take it, adopt it into their DNA, into their working. And I'm optimistic, hopeful that when the trend has started, sooner than later, I think they shall also adopt it. So if you ask me, I am quite optimistic about the future direction of how the organizations are taking it. I'm just hoping that they embrace it and gain the benefit of this coaching intervention in their organization.
Hey, thank you, Manikda. I think, as you're aware, we notice a lot of executive leaders and senior managers face a lot of pressure in their work, and clearly intervention for their own developmental plans in the form of executive coaching will help them, the organizations, to take it to a more sustainable mode. And clearly the role of executive coaching has come to stay. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, your experience, and I'm sure all of us will benefit from what you have indicated so far. Thank you so much, Manikda, for sparing the time. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for giving this opportunity to share this with us.